everybody, welcome back to Whiskey Trek. I'm Jackson.
I'm Natalie.
And today we are going to do a quick review about, excuse me one second, the St. Sally 10-year cigar blend from Ironroot.
Always a surprise for me.
And she was so apprehensive about this video. Anyways, this is the box. It is the first use of their new bottle design, which they will now use for all of their releases. Pretty cool. I like the cork. It's not weighted super heavily, but I like the design of it. It even has their Ironroot logo on the top. And this nice little badge right here, which is cool. And you can see very tinily there's signatures right here. Yeah, overall, great bottle design, very sturdy base and everything like that. What is the 10-year cigar blend from Saint's Alley? Well, if you know anything about Ironroot or Saint's Alley, then you would know that the Saint's Alley name means that it is a blend of Ironroot distillate along with other places' distillate. Specifically, in this case, it is Kentucky distillate, it's Indiana distillate, and it's Ironroot distillate blended together. The 10-year age statement means that the minimum age of the whiskey, even from Ironroot's distillation in Texas, is 10 years old, which is super cool. Yeah. What makes it a cigar blend? Well, by law, nothing. But for them, it makes it a cigar blend because it is finished in a blend of Armagnac and sherry casks. I really thought it was more than that. There is an excerpt online that has like specific types of finishing casks. Let me just read you the label from the inside of the box, which is in this cool gold font, which actually shows up great on camera. Okay. Let me just read you this real fast, and we can do a ADHD style, like speed it up 1.5 times or whatever. Cigars slow you down. Okay, for a first sentence, 100% love that. Sharing an experience with someone with a cigar really slows you down, makes you just take your time, enjoy each other's company. They force you to pause your life and focus on a moment right here, which is so true. To blend a whiskey that perfectly pairs with a cigar is part science and part alchemy. It is the work of artists and connoisseurs. For 5 years, Jonathan and Chris have been searching, tasting, and crafting the perfect cigar blend. Now, what is in the blend? That search has led to a blend of 10 to 13-year-old whiskeys from Indiana, Kentucky, and Texas. It includes whiskey finished in, there we go, the finishing barrels, PX and Oloroso sherry for 5 years. Wow, long time. And whiskey finished in Armagnac for 8 months. It is meant to be enjoyed in the company of people you truly love, like my wife.
Oh.
Telling stories that are mostly true. Well, you gotta have a little embellishment. Slow down, light up, pour a dram, share with friends. I love that sentiment. And I love the Ironroot family. They are fantastic. And we are so glad to live so close to that distillery and all those wonderful people.
That is so true. I feel like that is the summary of the documentary Neat to a T. And I love that.
Yeah.
If anyone asks, why are you so into bourbon? Just,
Well, for her.
Whoa.
Some of us liked it before that.
Whoa. I think the summary of the experience of loving bourbon has brought me closer to my family members, even before they were my family members.
You don't gotta defend yourself, I'm just saying.
Okay, then I won't defend myself.
All right, so cigar blend, 10 to 13-year whiskey from Indiana, Kentucky, and Texas. 10-year Texas is ridiculous, if we're being honest.
Right up my alley, though, but yes, a little ridiculous on paper.
So cool. Before we smell or drink this, as a note, I typically in the past have not loved sherry finish, but I love Armagnac finish. I actually had a Saint's Alley, the Herald, which was finished in Armagnac casks, and I adored it because it was a blend of Ironroot and MGP. That being said, 110 proof cigar blend, sherry and Armagnac finished, Texas distillate at 10 years old, new bottle shape. Let's go ahead and have a taste, yeah?
Or a smell.
Yeah, let's go ahead and have a smell. Sorry. Cheers.
Cheers.
Right up front, I don't think that you would guess that this is Texas.
What?
Really? I don't think I would.
I mean,
There is
Maybe not Texas, but like a
I would
double
guess-
oak or something. Like
Yes.
it's smelly. It's very good smelly.
Oh,
but-
I would guess it's finished. 100%.
Okay, okay.
But Texas, I don't think so.
Ooh.
It doesn't have the traditional Texas like pecan or mesquite or anything like that. It smells really nice.
Well, Texas stuff smells nice too. That's not what he means, but certainly how it's coming off.
No. Oh, and this is 114 proof, not 110. I apologize. And yeah, it does smell. It does smell that proof. There is an ethanol note up on the front. However, it is followed up by that really rich berry note from the sherry and a lot of wood. Honestly, it's not extremely complex, but the notes that are there are really pleasant. It is dark and there's this really rich note of fruit from the sherry, and cola's the wrong term,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
but there's something there.
A little richer than a cola note would be, but along that same lower register fruit.
When I say syrup, it doesn't smell like maple syrup.
No.
It doesn't smell like strawberry syrup. It's not like a root beer cola mix like Dr. Pepper, and it's not like a ultra sugary cola like Coca-Cola. You want to have a sip?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
You know, it tastes a lot more cola, like traditional Coca-Cola, than what I was expecting. Like, more Jack and Coke, obviously, because whiskey.
To me, it's like, you know, when you go to a fast food restaurant or like a Wingstop had these. When you walk in and you see the Coca-Cola machine that has this touchscreen circle and you can like choose all the different...
The movie theater soda, yes.
Yeah, you can choose, like you push the bubble for Coke and it has like all 8 different options of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
It tastes like a really specific, and I don't know which one. It's like if there was like a 9th option on there for like a sherry finished Coca-Cola.
Yes.
That you made with like a Jack and Coke or whatever, you know?
Yes. Or that and the syrup's slightly running out a little and it's kind of a little bit of carbonation. Like,
I get that. It's because it's not super sweet.
yes. Like, remember when we went to ACU and the syrup was running out at the soda fountain?
Yes.
That's kind of what this reminds me
Terrible time to try and sneak. Never mind.
of. Never mind.
I also really appreciate the char notes that are throughout this experience. Like, I can tell that this has been aged double-digit years, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I really appreciate that. The first time I had this, I had it by itself, immediately followed up by lighting a cigar and then having it that way. And so after having it both ways that first night, I will say I remembered it being less complex on the palate than it is right now. I'm very actually impressed compared to my initial impressions.
That's always good.
Yeah. I want to go back to it again. You want to go
Okay.
back to it again?
Please.
All right.
It's good.
I really like the nose. I didn't even take a sip there, but like, I'll say this. This isn't a whiskey that you sit down and try and dissect every single little note about it. This is a whiskey that you sit there and you have a person next to you, and maybe you have a cigar lit, probably should, and
That'd
you
be
just enjoy the evening. And I can see me and Natalie, or me and one of my friends, just killing a third of this bottle together, because it's one of those that you can enjoy without having to think a lot about.
Yes. I feel like on the ranch that has happened many a time with many a bottle. And that
Where do you think most of this went?
Yeah.
Most of this was gone because I had both of my brothers, myself, my brother from another mother, and the detective hanging out watching Formula One for the Las Vegas Grand Prix back in November.
So we've had quite a few guests at the house.
And that night when I opened it, it was a fresh crack, and then it came down to like here. And then I've just had like this much since in the last 2.5 months. What I'll say about this, okay, it's very nice, and I like the proof point. I think it's a little lacking on the finish. I wish it was a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I wish that the upfront was a bit more. The mid palate is fantastic. Mid and back palate, tons of flavor, lots of fruit notes, and really well balanced. Like, you're not getting overwhelmed by Texas whiskey. If you don't like Texas whiskey, I don't think this will be any problem for you. I think it is extremely Kentucky, Indiana dominant profile. I wish that the mouthfeel was better, especially for being finished so long. If you're going to finish something for 5 years, I kind of expect it to be more coating or at least viscous. And I don't think it feels that thick, and it definitely doesn't coat the mouth a lot. The overall profile, like if you just had to sum it down to a list of tasting notes that you got from that, I think that all of those tasting notes are good and none of them are bad.
I would agree with that.
How did I get this bottle? Because a lot of you probably don't have this. It's their first of this kind of release. I got it because I signed up via email on Google Drive to be entered in the raffle with an opportunity to purchase if selected. I was selected. I accepted, purchased the bottle, drove the 40 minutes to the distillery, and picked it up myself. I later found out that I'm a part of the Total Wine Concierge and could have just bought it there for $30 less than I bought it at the distillery. I paid $150 for this bottle. Before I give my grade, would I do this again? Yes. I would buy this bottle again for $150 because I can see the vision and I like where they're going and I love Ironroot and I trust in them. I don't think that this bottle is worth $150. I think this is a $90 to $100 bottle. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that is because I think in taste, I think it's like $80. And in terms of like packaging and finishing and things like that, I think you can get into the early hundreds. But I will continue to support Ironroot because I can see what they're doing and where they're going and what they're going for. And I love the creativity that they have here. And it's always great to support local and small business. And Ironroot is, it's hard to say that they're small business because they win global awards and they do a great job.
It's just, and happens to be the most local distillery to us.
Yes.
Matter of fact.
Final grade, Natalie.
Okay. B+ to A-. What do you say?
I was going to say C. It's because of price. It's because of price.
Okay.
It doesn't have the mouthfeel I'm looking for. It doesn't have the longevity on the finish that I'm looking for. As excellent as I think it is on the mid palate, it needs to be at least 75% as good on the front and the finish, and at least 50% as good on the mouthfeel. And I don't think it's any of those things, which is disappointing.
I respect. I'm gonna stay with my B-.
I that's totally on brand.
I think she is
very good.
I think she's very, very flavorful. But everything else you said is very worth mentioning.
I think my problem is that the amount of flavor that shows up kind of all shows up at once.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of cramming all of the flavor experience into the mid palate, while at least you get those awesome flavors and they are robust at that time, it's a bit limiting that they are only limited to that mid palate.
Well, I gotta say, as editor and also as a fan of the channel, I love when you can be as honest as possible. And I think this is you being completely honest. This is a distillery you love, you know the people, and this is you being honest. So yeah. I absolutely appreciate that.
I don't want to just hype up people just to hype them up, and I don't want to be mean just to be mean.
Absolutely.
And I love the Ironroot people, so I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to be constructive here.
And we have other bottles that are not C+. We have many other things from them.
Yep.
But this particular bottle, I can respect that grade.
Absolutely. All right, that is it for us here today at Whiskey Trek. We will see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.